Welcome, welcome. Pull up your natal chart. Let's talk today about Pluto and Neptune. These are two very interesting planets, and they are social planets as well. They influence us just like all the other planets. Now, Pluto is considered a very heavy planet, and it is so, but it's a transformational planet. Now, and Neptune is our delusions, our dreams, our illusions. So everything is our kind of imagination. Now Pluto is our transformation. Whether you want it or not, you will be transformed. Now when it comes to Pluto, Pluto moves, is a generational planet. Pluto moves very slow. Right now it just moved into Aquarius and will be there for 20 years. So everybody who is my age or from my age and up, so they are all have Pluto in Scorpio. We all have Pluto in Scorpio. All the millennials have Pluto in Scorpio. Now I was born in '84. Some people who were born in '84, so Pluto moved into Scorpio in, I think in October. Everybody else who were born before that was still Pluto in Libra. Now, so it's generational planet. A lot of people have the same, have Pluto in the same sign. Now, but in different houses. That's why we're talking about the houses when it comes to social planets, because everybody might have Pluto in Scorpio. It doesn't mean that it influences us all the same. So I'm going to go through all the houses, but before we start, so the houses are, the first one is the house of self, second is the house of resources, money. Third one is the house of close connections. So these are usually siblings, close friends, maybe the closest colleagues. Fourth house, the house of your family, your house where you live, your property. Fifth house, the house of children, house of creation, house of pleasure, flirting. Sixth house, the house of routine, house of health, house of pets. The seventh house, the house of relationship that you develop with the opposite sex. So somebody like a man or a woman. So it's a love relationship. Even if it's not opposite sex, it's still a love relationship. Now, eighth house is the house of shared resources, of something, death and rebirth, of some kind of transformation. That's what Pluto kind of rules. The ninth house, the house of traveling, education. The 10th house, the house of career. 11th house, the house of your social kind of standing. 12th house is the house of your psychic, of your inner state, inner development. Now Pluto in the first house, so Pluto is a very transformative planet. It stays in one sign for a long time and moves very slow, and because it moves very slow, it will force you to develop in that kind of in that house for a long time. So like for example, Pluto, when I was born, Pluto was in my 5th house. Now it's in my 8th house. So it only moved 3 houses only. Now, so at first I was transforming my 5th house, then I was transforming my 6th house for many years, and now, then 7th house, and now I was started to transform my 8th house. So Pluto probably will not even cover all the houses in my life. It will, but what it will cover, it will really fully transform. So remember how I told you that Saturn is like a strict parent. With Saturn, it's basically, the Saturn tells you, okay, do this and I will reward you. With Pluto, so Saturn is basically have some kind of incentive, you know. It's like if you clean your, like a parent to a kid, if you clean your room, I will give you $50. So you know that the faster I clean, the sooner I will get my $50 and I will be out. Now with Pluto it's like this, transform or die. like there is no choice. It's basically a parent who is like, you going to clean your room and just feel good about that, like that. So Pluto is the planet that will not give you, will not allow you some kind of escaping. You will have to transform those houses that you were born in, that it goes through. So Pluto is not, you could not escape Pluto. If Saturn, you kind of can a little bit, you know, okay, so if I don't clean the room, then I won't get my $50, that's fine, you know. With Pluto, it's not like this. It's you will clean that room whether you want it or not, and there is no reward. You just need to clean and become a better person with cleaning it. So this is what Pluto. Now let's go through all the houses. As I said, usually depending on your natal chart, look where Pluto is. So Pluto in the first house, you will be transforming yourself. You will be transforming yourself all the time. Pluto in the first house could indicate a poor appearance, maybe not a very attractiveness, could be not conventional appearance, not conventional beauty, and you would need through your whole life somehow transform yourself to accept and to accept yourself, whether you want it or not. This, accept and show others that you are an amazing person, even though maybe you are not exactly the beautifulest or the most beautiful or the handsomest or something like that. So this is in the first house. In the first house, you will always transform yourself. So transforming until finally you'll be like, okay, I fully accept myself, whatever it is, I'm done. Now, if the Pluto is in the second house, the house of money, personal resources, so you probably will be having hard time with money. Now, not necessarily that you wouldn't have money, you might probably have, but you might have issues with money, some kind of maybe others will want to have, maybe you will have people that would depend on you and you will constantly be supposed to give them the money. So Pluto will force you to transform your relationship with your personal resources. You will need to learn how to tell maybe people no, how to save your resources for yourself, how to spend them on yourself. So like that. And again, it's non-negotiable. If you will not learn, then you will not get nothing. Like that. It's not even you might not even get nothing, but you will have to learn something. So the lesson will be learned. The Pluto in the third house is the siblings, the close connections. You will be transforming your relationship with siblings. Usually people in the third house, with Pluto in the third house, they usually have very tense relationship with their siblings, and through their whole life they're trying to make it work. Or with they have hard times to get good friends or something like that. So, and when they get good friends, they're afraid to lose them. Like, it's the fears that come that you need to transform. You see, like the fear, also you see with the Pluto, you are transforming through that too. So maybe your siblings will help you to transform. Maybe your kind of a strangled relationship with them will help you to transform. When it comes to the second house, maybe this is the money that will help you to transform. The difficult situations with money will help you to transform. Or when it comes to your personal, it's your appearance that will help you to transform. So when it comes to the fourth house, as the house of the family, of the house, the apartment, you basically transforming yourself through family. Like my brother, he has Pluto in the fourth house, and and I couldn't say, this is what he wants. His son is also in the fourth house, so he wants to have a family. He has this ideal kind of version of a family that he wants to have, but it comes hard to him, and he transforms. He becoming a better person. I see that how he evolves throughout years, and how he negotiates, how he speaks to the women that he dates, so he transforms himself through trying to have the family, that ideal version of a family that he has in his mind, you see. I guess the same with houses. He's obsessed with property. I don't know, it's give him some kind of security. So you see, he's transforming himself through families, through properties. Now, the Pluto in the fifth house, that's me. I have Pluto in the fifth house. You're transforming yourself through having some kind of, through pleasure. You're transforming the pleasure that you feel. You're transforming, you have to overcome the fears that come with it, and just transform yourself. So for example, fifth house is the house of children. And I always had this idea, what if I have a child and the father will take the child away from me? I don't know. I had this fear since I don't know how long. And I date really good men. I know for sure they're not going to do nothing. I'm sure, like I know there's just no chance for that to happen, but yet I have that fear. So I need, if I want to become a mother, I need to transform that fear somehow to become a mother, to become something else. Or the book that I have published, right? It's not anything particular. It's it's just a simple book, but I was very afraid of the opinions of others. So my creation was basically hanging on thread because of my fear of what somebody would say, and I had to overcome that fear, push a lot of energy in so I can transform myself and allow myself. I put my book, I don't even want anybody to read it, but I put it for sale because I needed to transform myself, you see. Now the same with my courses. With my courses I'm pretty confident because this is the information that I use that I give. All right, so now when it comes to for Pluto in the 6th house, you will be transforming through your health. Usually people with Pluto in 6th house have not a very good health, or they constantly have issues with health. So they might be born with a good health, but then constantly somehow some kind of I don't know, stomach problems, or some kind of, you know, broken bones here and there, or teeth, constantly some issues. So these people would need to transform themselves by making sure that their health is on point. So they could not be stuck in the fear for their health. They need to basically take care of their health and move on with life. Like they could not be hanging in that problem. Now Pluto in the 7th house is the relationship. So people transform through relationship. For example, maybe this is the karmic relationship that everybody talks about. You got a man, you really love him, and then something happens and you would need to overcome your fears to become a better person, a better partner. Like this, or maybe you need to divorce and find another one to become. So you developing, you transforming through relationship. Now the Pluto in the 8th house, you transforming through so 8th house is shared resources, the intimacy. So maybe you will transform through being a very kind of close to another person, through even sharing your inner thoughts, inner fears with somebody. These people could work with therapists or mentors like me, or somebody who can guide them to move through, kind of to be able to open up and to learn different sides of themselves. Now Pluto in the 9th house is transforming through traveling, through education. These people will have to push themselves almost to travel. They will have to overcome their fears. They will have to overcome their insecurities when it comes to studies, just so they can transform, they can evolve, they can become a bigger somebody. Now Pluto in the 10th house is people transforming through their career. It might not be rewarding, they might hate it very much, but they would have to become somewhat a better version of themselves through that, through working, through their career. So somehow it has to connect to them working, to work with somebody, or working for themselves. So this is Pluto in the 10th house. Pluto in the 11th house transforms through society. So maybe somebody will ridicule you or write a paper about you in the like in school. Usually these kids are bullied. They would have to overcome their fears and all this bullying to become a better person. Or if they put themselves outside, they might feel not a threat, but they might feel like they like people almost targeting them, and they would need to overcome that, learn how to be immune to that, and learn how to move forward to them. So they transform through being at the mercy of the crowd, so to say. Now people with Pluto in the 12th house will have to transform, the heaviest one I would think, transform through working within themselves, you know, through working with their own kind of traumas, with their own problems, and only this will kind of move them forward. So they are transforming through working with themselves, and whether they do it or not, they will have to transform. There's no option. So Pluto is like this. Pluto does not give you an option. If Jupiter is like, okay, here's the luck for you, take it or leave it, you're like, okay, I will take it or leave it. With Pluto, there is no negotiation. It's like a sun, you know. You're going to transform, do it or die trying. I really don't care. Pluto is a heavy planet, but you will never be the same person. Like Pluto was transiting my 7th house just now, and trust me, it was 16 years in my house of relationship. The house of relationship transformed so greatly. My relationship of how 16 years ago I was getting into a relationship, how I was in relationship, and now are so different. I'm grateful. Yeah, there were struggles obviously for 16 years. There were I let out a lot of people. I stopped talking to a lot of men. I completely changed my perception. I started teaching others about this, but I'm so grateful. Honestly, it was hard lesson, but it was. But I am completely different person now. So Pluto is something you could not avoid. You will have to do it, and you will do it slowly and for a long period of time. Pluto moves slow, so it's not like a fast kind of done deal. Now, Pluto is could be, for anybody who's listening to me, Pluto is either in Libra, Scorpio, or Sagittarius, maybe Capricorn. Now, Pluto in Scorpio is a good placement, but as all the millennials, you know, we're kind of within ourselves, we're deep, we're trying brewing inside. Pluto in Sagittarius is lighter, more kind of let me do it, you know, I need to transform, let me transform. Pluto in Libra was very much lighter. They transform, but they not really, they transform through more like socializing through society. Now let's talk about Pluto retrograde is a power struggle inside. So if you have Pluto retrograde, Pluto also retrogrades for almost 6 months. It's a power struggle inside. So instead of you, Pluto is a very inside kind of transformation, but it's more inside. It's like you're doubting constantly yourself. You're not sure. Should I not? So let me make an example. Like you see how I said that I had that fear that if I have a child, I was afraid that somebody would that the father would take the child, and I would never be able to see that my creation. I'm thinking about others. I'm thinking that somebody else could harm me. My fears are about somebody. But if I would have Pluto retrograde, my fear would be maybe I wouldn't be a good mother. Maybe I would have a child and then I would fail as a mother. You see, I would have fears about me, not about others. So this is how Pluto retrograde works. All right, let's do Neptune. Neptune is very often overseen planet, because this is a planet of illusions, your intuition, and not everybody is interested in that stuff. This is also an area of your life where you're trying to escape, where you almost want to kind of disassociate yourself from anything that's going on in there. Now, Neptune is kind of a gray cardinal, so it stays somewhere on the side, but it does influence us. It does. If you notice, last 8 years, not 8, I think even longer, it was in Pisces, and everybody was manifesting. It was obsession for everybody. Now this year, Neptune moved into Aries, and seems like everybody wants to act more on their illusions, not to sit and dream about them. You see, so it does influence us. So it moves slowly. It stays for around 7 years in one sign. So a lot of people have the same Neptune in the same sign. Like I have Neptune in Sagittarius, and a lot of people who were born around my time also have Neptune in Sagittarius because it was there for 7 years. All right, so let's go through them. Now again, you're looking at the house, right? So not necessarily where the sign is, but the house. So on the first, if you have the first house Neptune, usually these people are very strong intuition. They are very empathetic, and this is the house of self, right? So they also very imaginative. These people also have very like dreams, almost prophetic dreams, I would say. Now Neptune in the second house. So Neptune is the planet that you have illusions, you want to dissociate yourself, and you want to kind of to blur the borders, you know. So when it comes to the second house, this is a house of money. A person with Neptune in the second house have some kind of this weird kind of thinking about when it comes to money. So they might think, well, I'm sure money will come somehow. So they almost afraid to to force themselves to see the real picture, or they would be like, that's fine, I can spend, somehow money will come, like this. And often they might come because they're delusional like that. This is for the second house. Now, I haven't put over here, almost blurry relationship with money. So this is also, Neptune is something that you idolize, like idealize. So for example, when it comes to money, then you idealize the relationship, the money in your life, what money can do for you. Now, so Neptune in the third house is you are idealizing the relationship with friends, with siblings. So you might need those people in your life. You're like, oh my God, I'm the luckiest person alive, I have the best siblings, or I'm the luckiest person alive, my friends are the best, and nobody can have better friends, like this. Like you're almost obsessed with this kind of, and the borders between you and friends are almost non-existent, like you almost one body. And this also could be, you remember how every planet is too good or too bad, you know, it could become either one. So you idealize the relationship with friends, but then remember, you need to develop yourself. You can't be developing with your friends all the time. You know, there must be time when you spend with friends and time when you spend by yourself. Now, if Neptune is in the fourth house, then you are obsessed with the relationship with parents. You almost need to have this like close ties to your parents. You need to have some kind of house. You need to feel good in your house. You need to have your own kind of corner where you feel very relaxed, very kind of cozy in that place. So this, when it comes to the to Neptune in the fourth house, you need to have good relationship with parents. You will go crazy if you don't. In the fifth house, so Neptune in the fifth house is basically you can become really creative, like really you become very romantic. You value romanticism. You know, you read these books, this kind of books about love, those ones about love, and and you believe that every relationship is like this, like all the flirting should be as light and as perfect as it is in the books. So you love the fantasy world that comes with the flirting with man, with some kind of creation. When it comes to children, you're almost like a fairy to your kids, you know? So you inspire them. That's a good placement really to have, especially if you're a mother. Now in the sixth house, you don't want to exactly to get too deep into your house. So this is the house of health and routine. So you believe that your health is ideal. You're almost delusional about it. My Neptune is also in the sixth house. Like I will tell you, I think I'm better off with Neptune in the sixth house because I don't get, like, I'm not going to be running and checking my health every single half a year. I don't. I mean, I do checkups here and there, but I'm not going to because it will drive me crazy, you see. I believe that my health is perfect, and every time I go to check, it is still there, still perfect. Now, do I have issues? Yeah, here and there. I mean, obviously, like everybody, but I am not focusing on that. Like I pretend to imagine that everything is perfect, and it happens to be so. So you see, like my relationship with, I don't have that deep relationship with my health and routine. I just hope for the best, and the best happens, like that. I hope it makes sense, really. Now, so Neptune in the seventh house is the idealizing the relationship that you have right now. So you probably believe, my God, the man is the best. The man might be cheating under your nose, but you will basically just deny it and deny that you will believe that it's the best relationship. And at one point, that man probably will see the value in you finally. Now, but you're not doing it for him. You're doing it for yourself. You want to believe in the better, like this. With the Neptune in the eighth house, you can get into, and because it's such a deep transformative house, you can get into some kind of cults, into sects, into even trying some kind of like you might be obsessed with something dark and mysterious. You might want to try different things, experience different things, something that's mysterious, something that's unknown. Now, be careful here, don't get too deep into that. Neptune is the planet of illusion, but make sure that illusion does not hurt you. Like usually these people are somewhat protected, but still be more careful, especially if you have some kind of other planets in there. All right, so Neptune in the 9th house is the fascination with the foreign culture. These people are basically live for something new, for some kind of traveling, for learning something new. They don't see kind of borders. So they, for example, they don't really care whether a person has a different religion, different culture. They welcome everybody. They're good. These people could be very good when it comes to traveling, to like all these exchanges, because they don't really Neptune removes the borders, kind of. So they remove the borders when it comes to different cultures, different knowledge. The 10th house is absolute desire for a career. These people with Neptune 10th house, they want a career, but yet they have like, they're confused about what their role is in that career. So it's like they dream about the career, but they don't know how to present themselves to be that somebody, or to how to act. So they would have some kind of issues when it comes to the career. Not issues, but more like they're somewhat lost when it comes to the career. If Neptune is in the 11th house, these people are obsessed with the humanitarian like aid for everybody. These are people who are missionaries. These are people who, especially if they have other planets in the 11th house, these are people who would want to be, who would want to help others, who want others to help others too, and they could get really disappointed if the world is not up to their standards. Like if, for example, they went to be saving hungry children in Africa and nobody else is following them, they will be like, why is it happening? I mean, I don't understand. So it's the house of society, and they want the society to be a particular way, and they believe the society is particular way, and if the society doesn't act a particular way, they get somewhat disappointed. So, but these are amazing missionaries, amazing kind of humanitarian workers. They're perfect for that. Now the 12th house, Neptune in the 12th house, really person can get deep into themselves. It's a very deep connection to the subconscious, the intuition is really on point, I will tell you. Now they do want to they want to explore inside themselves, and they prefer solitude. These people love solitude with Neptune in the 12th house, unless they have other planets, but they do love to sit and think and just look into themselves. Now this is about Neptune. I just wanted to mention that Neptune retrograde, again, people are more inside themselves. So like for example, again, in the 11th house, so if somebody with Neptune in the 11th house direct will want to help others, will want to do something for others, will want to kind of go and educate others or something, want to better off the society. Now with retrograde, they would be wanting to do that, but maybe not doing it. So they would be sitting like, we need to have a new government, I want to go and do something about this, but they wouldn't do nothing. So they basically would be just trying to kind of to maybe convince others, or even convince themselves, like that. So this is retrograde. Now people with natal Neptune retrograde usually have very strong dreams that come true often. So if you have Neptune retrograde, watch out. Maybe you have some dreams that come to reality about you, about others. So who knows? I mean, as I said, I don't have any retrograde plans, but I know that some people do. All right. So again, look at the Neptune by the house, not by the sign. But I just wanted to mention, Neptune is a kind of water energy. So if Neptune is in any water sign, it's good. If Neptune is in any earth sign, it's good. Neptune is in fire and air is not good. Not a very good placement. Now my Neptune is in Sagittarius, so I mean, I take it, but it's not a very good placement. Why? Because Neptune is a very kind of slow, dreamy planet. You know, it makes you think, listen to yourself, listen to your intuition, listen. When it's in fire, I mean, what is it going to listen to? It's going to want to act on some kind of illusions that's not true yet, you see. So good placements if you have Neptune in earth or water signs. Not a very good placement, fire or air. I mean, but it is what it is. So this is what I wanted to mention. Also, notice whether they're staying close to other planets or some kind of aspect. Again, if Neptune, for example, stays next to Venus, then your relationship, your connections with men will be more romantic, more kind of on the quiet, more kind of flirty, like this. You will be more vulnerable. Now, if Neptune is staying next to your Mars will be almost like afraid to act, like in constant doubts. So not a good placement. So look where it is. If it's opposing anything, if your Neptune opposes your Sun, then your confidence will be almost lost. You know, like you would be, you will not be sure how to present yourself. So again, Neptune is not a bad planet, but Neptune could influence the planets around, around them. Also the same with Pluto. Watch out which planets are staying next to the Pluto. I have Pluto, Sun, Saturn. My Sun is stuck between two planets like this, but Pluto is not very close to the Sun, thankfully. But if you have, like for example, Pluto and Sun, you will always transform your confidence, your presentation. You know, you will never be able to shine until you overcome your fears. So see where they are, what they're squaring, what they're opposing. If your Pluto is opposing your Venus, you will always have fears about your feminine kind of being, of presenting yourself, of maybe dressing up. You will always feel a little awkward by being a woman almost. So look at that. If you have questions, ask. But that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope it made you clear. I will have another video, one more. And please look in the description of this video. There are all the other videos on understanding yourself through your natal chart. All right, thank you everybody. Bye, enjoy your day.